We have things that we can do as farmers or as producers. We can decide to do something or decide not to do something. We can turn a lever on, we can turn a lever off. The streams here in Iowa County wind up in the Mississippi River Basin. They head south and eventually enter the Gulf of Mexico. And where those waters mix, we need to go out 20 miles. That's how far our Gulf fishermen have to commute to earn themselves a living.
How does a new ecological system come to be? How does wisdom and farming move forward? It's at events like this in western Wisconsin and Bickford Organic Farms that grows ancient grains and varieties of wheat. We're here to meet Margaret Krome of the Michael Fields Agricultural Institute, and she's fostering this connection of the upper Mississippi watershed as it connects to the rest of the country, all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. This is how farming grows. This is where farmers learn to value the soil. This is the essence of true farming. Margaret Krome of Michael Fields, how are you, my dear?
Nice to see you.
Good to see you. I've been good. Well, growing up in and around farms, I have no problem getting my boots dirty, so let's go down and see the grains.
Let's head on over there.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Margaret, what are we doing here on the edge of a wheat field in southwestern Wisconsin?
We're having a good time before the rain, and we're having a field day talking about grains, and in this case, organic grains.
A field day in both senses.
Yeah, that's true. We're literally here having a field day to talk about some specialty grains, why it is that it matters to grow small grains, and why it matters to grow them in a way that keeps erosion to an absolute minimum. One of the other really cool stories about this particular farm is Paul Bickford and the couple that's moving onto the farm.
Yep.
They are buying it, and he's mentoring them as they go.
Yep.
And that's really neat. So we have the next generation being mentored, saying, we're making a commitment here. This is our plan. Our foundational principles will be protecting the soil, using the least environmentally destructive practices, building our profits, but doing it in a way that is sustainable. But the other very fun thing and important thing is shrimp. So the reason we're bringing shrimp, and we do this at every field day, now it's kind of our brand. Why? We are affecting not just our local water bodies, we're affecting fishermen in the Gulf of Mexico, whose livelihoods depend upon just these kinds of conservation practices.
It's so rudimentary. Some people can't see the circle and how our ecology, everything leans on another like an elegant domino. And it's so easy to follow it through and say, this is simply connected.
There's nothing like food to help you remind you of where the dots need to be connected. We're all kind of glad to connect with food.
This says nothing about how capable you are. I think I can take that whole bit in one bite. Cheers. Cheers to healthy watersheds.
So this is actually Hallie Webking. Hallie is the author of this shrimp salad and rolls with wheat from this farm. Yeah.
I love that you're holding the rolls like a baby because you have a 2-year-old and you're just so used to cradling.
Just like,
Yeah. That's how you roll.
An indentation here.
And you and your husband, John, met cooking in one of the more demanding and famous kitchens in New York. Prune, Gabrielle Hamilton, wrote that fantastic book, Blood, Bones, and Butter. And he's from here, and you're not.
Nope.
So you lost the best bet ever, which was coming back to Wisconsin. And you have literally are in the process of buying the farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You may have a gig as a legit
you fall back on.
New Orleans chef. This is really good. I mean, you can't, this is like grandmother level. You can't fake this great creamy, tang, fresh, the green, like you can't.
I've spent some time in New Orleans. I'm familiar with the flavors.
Yes, you are, ma'am.
Heavenly.
I want a good, oh, this is a good one.
Yeah.
Good, look at the size of,
I know.
look at that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's do this, right? You've got that crazy chef training. You're probably gonna, if we're if we're in a race, I'm losing to you. That's amazing. And usually you have to travel 500 miles.
I know. So lucky.
Okay, I'm gonna sneak one more before all the people come.
The crowds are coming. Those are the last ones?
And then a few more over here.
Okay, I'll bring in the other pan in just a sec. We're in good shape, thank you, dear.
Your Paul Bickford, and it's a generational farm. Your family's had this for a while.
We've been farming for 4 generations.
And you are John Wepking.
Yep.
And you're the new generation, though not related.
Yeah.
But you and your wife, you're literally buying the farm in a good way.
Yeah.
From this guy, and there's a little bit of, well, tutelage, I guess.
I mean, we wouldn't have a chance at managing or even running a farm like this without having a mentor.
So where do you see the future for this soil right now that's being watered so diligently?
The idea is we're moving away from the traditional rotation of just corn and soybeans and alfalfa to really doing more of these small milling grains. The small grains are really good for the soil, then the trick becomes creating the markets for them.
When farmers in the upper Midwest use sound conservation practices that can, by the way, improve their bottom lines, that means the water going down the stream, down the river, down to the Gulf carries fewer nutrients. And so it doesn't go out shushing into the Gulf of Mexico with all of the nutrients and keeps fishermen from fishing in an area that is contaminated essentially with nutrients. Thank you.
The handicap with short legs.
Morning.
Gally, good morning. I'm Margaret.
Donovan.
You know what? You can shake my hand. There's some
I'm
fingers.
usually the captain on here.
This is a group of Wisconsin farmers and friends, and we wanted to come and join you and see what your life is and see what it is to haul in some shrimp.
This is the plot. It tells us where we're going. Right now, I'm getting ready to get out of Terrebonne Bay. I'm getting to Lake Pelto.
And you only know that because of the map. You can't look at this place and say, oh, we're...
Oh, I don't need this. I can go where I want. Been shrimping for 50 years. I fell into it because of my parents. My father did it. My grandfather did it. We've been just inherited down and enjoy the lifestyle of shrimping. Shrimping is a hard life. This boat here goes off at 20-something days.
From the time we leave the dock till we get back, the motor don't stop. I stay out for 3 weeks. Every day is Monday. Every day is Monday. A good day would probably be about 2,000 to 3,000 pounds is a good day. We let our outriggers down. We're gonna pull everything out to the end of the booms, and that's gonna help us to get our trawls away from the boat so we can pull our trawls and set out, catch shrimp that way.
How deep do the nets go?
All the way to the bottom.
All the way to the bottom.
The boat draws about 6 foot, and we'll probably gonna have about 2 or 3 foot under the boat, so about 8 to 9 foot, maybe 10 foot, 10 feet of water. Our shrimping has declined a little bit with that dead zone. I believe that's part of the cause of it. The shrimp trying to move in and everything, they get caught in that dead zone. Nothing can survive without oxygen. So you got to have that oxygen in the water for them.
Basically, nitrogen phosphorus runoff from coming down the Mississippi River does get out into the Gulf and creates a hypoxic zone where there's no oxygen. Well, I am certainly not the foremost expert on the dead zone, but the idea is to get information, exchange information, teach people about the problems that we have so that it's not just a local issue anymore, it becomes more of a national issue.
You know it when you hit it. Completely dead. You lose everything out of it. As far as a fish, a shrimp, a crab, anything, you don't have that. I'm not gonna say, if you're a farmer, I'm blaming you for this, I'm blaming you for that. But it's as a nation or a country right there, it's coming from north to south. Rivers don't flow north, rivers flow south, so it has to be coming from somewhere. They gotta do what they're doing and we gotta do what we're doing, but it just has to be some kind of partnership to try to get between the two. You have to have change in it. Somebody has to get together and do something because there's something that can be done. The dead zone wasn't there before.
Well, I got a nice squid in here. I got a few of those. Yeah, squid. So they have, these are all short fin squid. What else
What's
we
this
got?
guy?
This guy here, that's a pogie. Okay, so that's what makes fish oil, all that sort of stuff.
It's really not any good what we caught right there. It should have been a lot more. But we're still looking around, there's not enough for it. And a hell of a lot of squid. We're gonna pull one more good liquor, try that, and probably pick everything up, and it won't have much.
Well, Daniel and I are here together from Hillside Pastures Farm in the Driftless area of Wisconsin, and we're part of a watershed group trying to explore the issues on our land that impact this area. I knew that the sediment was going down the Mississippi. I knew the nutrients were, but it's more theoretical until you get here and you see protections disappear. That's an environmental perspective that I would have never understood without being here.
I think all farmers care about the environment, but they don't realize the ripple effects that they have downstream, and that's a big problem. And I would say I feel more of a connection to the people down here and more sympathetic to them. And I really don't want to impact their lives as much as, you know, my ancestors have by, you know, allowing our nutrients to run off and come down here and, you know, create the so-called dead zone.
So now we got two different shrimp, about the same size. This is a white shrimp, this is the brown shrimp. We don't really look at color, that's their common name of it. But if you look at the top of its head, now this is a brown shrimp. You see how it's sort of grooved on each side of this spine? There's a spine here that runs out. But that's two shrimp that basically a 40, 50 count shrimp. So it's 40 or 50 of these will probably make a pound. They go through this whole thing, sorting the bigger shrimp, just throwing them over here. Because these are gonna go for $2 probably or something like that. These would be nice, and then they take the smaller ones that were like this, and that'd make a 40, 50 shrimp. So they get a little less money for that, but you know, these little ones pay for your gas, and then those big ones pay for your time.
They ran real well. We would like to catch a little more shrimp than we did, but tonight we're having a big crawfish boil, crab boil, shrimp boil. You're all supposed to cook steaks for us, and I'm looking forward to that because I enjoy that myself.
I'm gonna take y'all to the unloading dock first, and then we'll go in the plant after. So I could check out the unloading dock. Okay, all the shrimp here is suctioned out of the boat, brought into these conveyors, and then the guy that buys the shrimp right here, he counts, and that way they know what size the boat gets paid. We dump the shrimp in this wash tank, and it brings the shrimp into the plant to get processed. They come down through a bunch of other cleaning equipment. They take the legs, the throats, and everything off the shrimp. And when it's done in that process, it comes to this conveyor belt here, where we got people that does final inspection on the shrimp. Take out any trash that's left in it. The largest shrimp goes to the first grader, the medium to the middle grader, and the smallest ones come to this grader and this conveyor belt. And they're being regraded again to get a more uniform grade. A lot of this pure shrimp gets IQF'd and put in 1 pound bags, 3 pound bags, 12 ounce bags, whatever the customer wants, that's what we pack, that's how we pack it. This is our 5 pound brand that we pack in, one of them. We have another box that's called Big Easy Foods. The shrimp that we pack and put on the buggy, we'll put them in those blast freezers and they'll freeze overnight. The next day we'll take them out and put them in the 50 pound cases. This is the holding freezer where we keep them in.
What's the temperature?
0. This is 0 degrees, this is holding freezer.
You know what, we're from Wisconsin, we know 0 degrees a little too well.
Shrimp, it doesn't hurt it to defrost it and refreeze it. Don't hurt it at all. We defrost shrimp every day.
Okay.
Every day. We could process up to 40, 50,000 pounds a day on good shrimp.
There's so many different ways to cook shrimp. Yeah? You probably got 100 different ways to cook shrimp. The lady that runs this place, she knows how to boil seafood pretty good.
Right now we got sausage, smoked sausage, potatoes, fresh garlic, celery, lemons, and then we're gonna put all this into the sack, and then when we're ready to take it out, you're not fishing all of this out piece by piece. It's a lot easier. You're gonna see how quickly these shrimp turn. Smells good. See the split? See how the shells, the back of the shells are splitting? They're getting there. The butter helps the shrimp. It's gonna give it a good flavor, but it's also gonna make the shrimp where it's not gonna stick.
The only thing I do different is when it starts breaking on the back, I add bag of ice. But it's not healthy for you.
Oh, who said it's
bag of
healthy?
ice is healthy for you.
Who said Cajun food is healthy for you?
A bag of ice is healthy.
Ooh, we gotta take this sucker out.
All or not all?
I would not do all.
I would not do all either because these are not
which ones
major
you don't want.
Okay, Swiss Farmers, this baby Swiss, these for sure. This one is an extra one of that, and it's really nice, I'd say that. We have Lungschlager and a smoked venison, which is this. And what about the little...
That is awesome.
So one of the nice things that we're able to do is we're wanting to reciprocate with their extraordinary hospitality. We're offering steaks and brats from meat produced on the farms of the farmers in our watershed group. The brats, we're going to have to explain brats. When I said brats today, they looked like, is that a vegetable?
Okay, so tell me what this is.
These are our sirloins, and I raise them solely on grass. Grass-fed is going to be healthier because you're not going to have all that fat.
Right.
And you're going to have a really healthy fat.
Farmer Mike,
Yeah.
I want a small piece, medium rare. I like it mooing, you know?
I know you do.
All right.
Merci beaucoup.
That means thank you very much. Go ahead, Carolyn. Beauty before age.
Just right.
Huh?
Just right.
Do people know to put the sauerkraut on the brats?
Baby, I don't think they know what bratwurst is. So they certainly don't know about sauerkraut, but we're going to eat the sauerkraut on our brats, okay?
Exactly.
All right.
We've been told that they don't really like cheese. Well, guess what? It's because the cheese that's offered down here is crap.
Because this cheese is delicious.
Am I the person who knows it?
I don't know, but I want, like, I need to pay you to send me more of that.
We're going to be exchanging cheese, I'm sure, now that they know what good cheese is like.
Very good, very good.
Well, the trip has been eye-opening, surprising, fun, and educational. I think we've met enough people to create some lifetime relationships. Shrimp and steak can go together great, and I just can't discount how much this trip is. It's just a wonderful experience.